What's good? What's good? This is Ali, Hoodstar 365, and this is Respect the Game, the podcast. And today's topic, I'm going to talk about being grateful, to humble yourselves, to swallow your pride. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? Those are the attributes where God said, if you even have a mustard seed of pride in your heart, then you will not be accepted to get past those gates to be with Him. So, we as a human race, we know we made a lot of mistakes, a whole lot of mistakes for the love of worldly things and the love of money. Greed, which is nothing but the work of the shaitan, the devil himself. So the word is, do not take positivity or anyone for granted. If someone is showing you love and taking care of you and feeding you and teaching you and showing you and sharing with you their life experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do not take that person for granted. Appreciate all the information that person is giving to you on a daily basis. So all the preteens running around amok within our society here in America, listen closely. 13 years old to 18-year-olds. They now have beds open for you as adults in state penitentiary. So that's where they want to guide you all to the state pen or to the graveyard, 6 foot under. So if you got a dad, an uncle, a brother, or an older gentleman that's around you that's trying to give you knowledge and trying to teach you and show you the way, then appreciate that. Appreciate all the information, because when I was a kid, I didn't have none of that. So I had to learn everything the hard way. I didn't have a male figure in my life to tell me what's right and what's wrong. You know, I had to go basically on my own and look for what was right and was wrong, and I was searching in all the wrong places, going for things that soothe my inner desires of just worldly things, like money, cars, women, sex, drugs, and the outcome was not pretty. The outcome was not good at all. It landed me incarcerated with a 10-year sentence, and I lost everything that I loved and who loved me, because I still love them, but people who love me, I was gone for 10 years. They forget about you, bro. And everything that I own, house, cars, motorcycles, jewelry, all my cash, you know what I mean? Baby mom ran through all my cash. And then she married one of my old friends. So I had to come home to that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So trust no one, but trust your process. And remain patient, remain faithful, and deflect negative energy when it comes your way. Don't be a punk. If somebody trying to bring harm to you, of course, you got to defend yourself. But as far as the kids in our community running around with guns and shooting at people like it's a video game, it is not a video game. It is not a video game. You do not get 9 lives and come back to life. You know how when you die in a video game, you get to go back in the game again. You get to get another life. Well, in the real world, you're going to prison. You're going to prison or you're going to the grave site. Straight up. There's no other way. I don't know how else to tell you. That's the only two options, man. Whatever you're doing right now, you might be getting away with it, and you think you got away with it, but everybody has their time. And me, I was hustling, getting money. I had a 12-year run. As a matter of fact, when I was doing it, didn't nobody know I was doing it because I wasn't flossing. And plus, back then, we didn't have social media. So nobody even knew that I was getting money like that until I got caught, and then they knew I was getting money. You know what I'm saying? Then when I came home, those same people started coming approaching me, trying to get me right back into the game because they wanted my connect. So they were throwing all their money at me, like, here's 10 grand. Here's 14 grand. Take that, man. Here's my number. Just hit me up when you got it, man. Take your time. It don't matter. I had another guy give me 28 grand, bro. Just put it in my hand, bro. I told him, nah. I'd rather be broke and homeless to ever do that shit again. To put my family through that again. You know? And my kids suffered, my mom suffered, my sister, my brother suffered when I was gone and put in that position. You know? Being incarcerated ain't shit about it, ain't cool, ain't nothing cool about it. Ain't nothing gangster about it, ain't nothing cool about it. All them dudes you see on the street claiming this and claiming that, and they shooting their guns and all that, when they go to prison, they straight walking around the track holding hands with boy girls. If you don't know what boy girl means, that means a male acting and dressing like a female in prison. I couldn't believe that when I seen that, man. I was like, are you kidding me? There's this one dude. This dude was so diesel, bro. His arms were like Herschel Walker. And he used to walk around with a Bible every day. And go and walk to be aware. So when you go home, if you have sex, then they got to take an HIV test. So now you're putting everybody else in danger, in harm's way. It's crazy. And then for all them shooters that come through, once we hear that it was coming through, all the shooters coming, oh, that's the kid that shot, oh yeah, he was a shooter. Broke. They be the brokest one in prison. They ain't got no commissary. Ain't nobody putting no money on their books. Ain't nobody doing absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them turn to Maytags. You know what a Maytag is? A Maytag is you start washing people's clothes, or you start cooking their meals, or whatever you start doing. Start be a runner, or or a soldier, whatever, so you can eat. Like you can't boss up in there and have your shit going on, because people gonna come at you every day. They're coming at you. So a lot of those kids, they don't have a choice but to pick a side and pick a gang, whether it's Blood, Crip, Nieta, King, Aryan Nation, the white supremacy, and all that, man. They don't have a choice. But they approach you. They approach me. They kept approaching me all the way down to the bitter end. Yo, man, we want you to get down with us. Yo, we want to make you a captain in this. Come on, man. We want you to do that. You're a leader. Come on, man. Like, bro, I was born by myself. God blew a spirit in my flesh, and I was born. And when I die, he's going to blow that and take the spirit out of my flesh, and I'm going to die alone. I never walked this planet being a follower. I've always been a leader. Because my mom taught me that. She always said, be a leader, not a follower. Followers are cowards. People who follow other people, especially do negativity, they're cowards, or they feel as though they need protection. A lot of those kids join gangs in prison because they need protection. they are afraid, from being violated. Because a lot of guys are violated, man. You know what I mean? That shit, once you go to prison, that ain't no guns there. So you got to use your hands to fight. You know what I mean? Or make a shank to survive. And you always got to have your boots on. And you always got to have your shorts on, your underwears on. You don't never take a shower, butt-ass naked. Go to prison. What I'm saying applies to everybody, man. But I know within our community, somehow, some way, man, we have to teach the youth, man. That I understand they put it in the music and everybody sings songs about guns and a lot of, of African descent, because when God cast them out of heaven for eating the fruit, right, and violating what he had ordered, and they stepped on the continent of Africa and Saudi Arabia, there were two big, giant black figures, man. They weren't white, none of that stuff. So, we are all related. Every human in this world is related because we all come from Adam and Eve. We just didn't pop up nowhere. Ain't no science, and we didn't come from no monkeys. We didn't come from none of that. The Big Bang Theory, the monkeys, none of that, man. God is perfect. He doesn't make mistakes. He's not to be questioned. And you see what he's doing around the world, sending his wrath as signs for the world, humans, to humble themselves. Because, we're the only creatures that he granted with the ability to think and ponder and come up with solutions with problem solving. That's what he gave us. So he even said it in the book that it will come a time when man will become so arrogant to believing that they are more intelligent than the Creator himself. But them not knowing that their intelligence is but a bird's beak, one peck of the ocean, of the entire ocean on the planet. That's man's IQ level, his intelligence, compared to the Creator himself. And you just think about that and reflect on what that means. It said that there will come a time when man will become so arrogant and prideful that they will become in competition with one another for who could build the highest building to reach the clouds and in the heavens, or who could build transportation to reach the stars and other planets. And even though up to then, their intelligence will never be equal to the Creator himself, because the Creator's intelligence is infinite. It is a never ending. Even to this day now, there's new creatures being created. The other day I seen, I think it was on YouTube, it was like a worm-like figure, and then at the head of the worm was like a mouth. You know those plants that open their mouth, the plants that eat shit? Look at that. That's a plant that eats a plant. Well, there's a worm like that with the face. Like that. And then chills, they want to be black, so they acting like they black, but they want to act like white girls, and then they act like they want to be black. They're big, and he gave you your journey. Your journey is not my journey. My journey through life, that's it, prison. So now, through all the hard work in the last 5 years, the podcast, Respect the Game, the podcast, then I created the website so you can start one order, then 2 orders, then 3 orders, and then put the music on I put the music on all streaming services. Then you got 30 listeners, and then 500 listeners, then 1,000 listeners, then 10,000 listeners, then 100,000 listeners, 500,000 listeners, then 1,000,000 streams, and it goes like that. Keeps going and going and going and going and going. But you gotta trust your process, or whatever it is you're doing with your life. And I just told my son this because you see that I'm walking, right? I'm exercising. Well, I got him on his bike, see? And I work him out every morning, weight training, calisthenics, right? And then after we done that, we eat breakfast. Then there's, I got, in my household, he has the opportunity to learn how to do video for a job or to get money, because they're going to get money. He's 13. All he want to do is lay in his bed and play. Well, he used to play Xbox all the time, but I took the Xbox and I smashed it and threw it in the trash. Kids talk. Get a home. They go to bed full. They're not hungry. Because I walked in a while. It's got to be maybe 4 miles. My son's having a fit though. But he's on the bike. I'm the one that's walking, see? He said he wanted to stay home. He didn't want to come outside. What is that? Huh? I'm gonna buy you guys some new bikes, man. We need new bikes. Don't worry about it. You leave it off. It's okay. We can order a pedal for it off of Amazon. All right? So we gotta do better and protect your kids, man. They pushing that agenda. I don't know if you guys seen that little Nas X picture that he posted yesterday, that he's pregnant. Pushing that on black and brown kids, man. It's not cool. We as a community, we got to cancel that, man. Nobody support that. We got to take our culture back. Do you know we don't own hip-hop? We created hip-hop. Blacks and Puerto Ricans created hip-hop in the Bronx in the 70s. And then it broke through in the early 80s and is where it is today. Okay? That's the reality. That's facts. But guess what? We don't own any of it. We don't own the labels, the major labels. We don't own the major publishing companies. We don't own anything. Once again, all we do is follow. Follow the leader. If you see me wearing this, and I did that, then everybody start doing it. And I'm a celebrity, then all the kids want to do what I'm doing. If I'm wearing this, then everybody want to wear this. And we got to support one another. Support whoever's doing positivity in the community, support him. Whether he's a chef, into fashion, an athlete, or college. He's going to college. But everybody should be protected from being harmed in the community. No college basketball player or football player or NBA or NFL or boxing, none of that. Anybody that's doing positive, bro, should be gunned down senselessly over envy and jealous. You could be great too. Just get up every day and believe in your dream and become passionate about it. Everybody told me that I was nuts for doing what I was doing, that I was too old to start a record label, that I was too old to start a clothing line, that I was too old to start a mixtape series. And here we are, we're going on volume 24 already. And I was too old to start a podcast, that I was just too old and finished to do anything, that I had to continue to go work for other people, making them multi-millionaires until I can't work no more, and then I die, and that's it. That'll be my legacy. Nah, that will not be my legacy. That will not be my legacy. That's just a chapter of my legacy. of all those years doing construction, hard labor, concrete work, jackhammering, bridge building, road building, laying pipes, gas lines, water lines. I did it all, bro. Electrician. I was an electrician. Wired up a lot of homes and things. Gas lines, water lines. I did it all, bro. Electrician. I was an electrician. Wired up a lot of homes and duplexes. And electrician. I was an electrician. Wired up a lot of homes and duplexes and complexes. Spanish. Nothing, man. We are all humans. And they're going to burn, and they're going to get locked up, and they're going to die, commit suicide, and all that. So remain faithful. Remain patient. Because guess what? He is the only one that can help us. There's nobody that you can call to right now that can help you out of this predicament but God himself. I don't care how they put it, or how much money they got, or how many big mansions they got, or cars, or jewelry. None of them can help. None of them can help us the way God can help us. He is the only one. He got us. I know he got me. He had protected me this long and looking out for me. So I know. You know what I'm saying? So let's do better. Let's love one another. Let's protect one another. You know? If you see somebody that does a senseless crime and just shooting like that in your community, in your public, you don't want to tell the police? Then go holler at him yourself personally, man. And we got to get rid of those people. They got to leave. Tell them, you got to move out the community, or we're going to move you. That's it. Got to take it back, man, to the 60s. You know what I mean? Whoever the idiots were, they were eradicated out the community. You know? That's when the community was thriving and everybody was prospering. That's when everybody used to wear suits, and women used to wear dresses, and was respectful. Everybody was respectful, and entrepreneurs. And just trying to make it in America. You know, America is the greatest country in the world. I love this country. In the last 30 years, the people that got in them offices and in politics, you know, because it's all about the money. Like those trillions and trillions of dollars in this pandemic, where is that money at? There should be no more homeless people in this country. There should be no one hungry at all. And Wi-Fi should be free for the entire country. We pay taxes, so that should be included with our fucking paying taxes. Man. Wi-Fi should be free so that we can, you know, always be connected to the internet. And you got to protect your parents. You got to put guidance on your parents' parental, you know, permission on your kids' devices. Don't let them watch everything. Don't let them do everything. Because guess what? It poisons their minds and it controls their minds. I caught my son right on time. I used to let him be on that computer and that Xbox for hours, man. For a few years. Then when I went to go check, I was like, what the hell is he doing? What is he watching? Watching all weird stuff on the internet. I don't know, Dad, I'm confused. Because that's what they're teaching the kids. You know, evilness, wickedness. Like the city of Gomorrah. Right now, the United States is like the city of Gomorrah, like in the Bible, in the Quran. That's what's going on in this country and around the world. Well, not everywhere around the world. Like what's going on in Afghanistan? Why do you know people were running to the airport and climbing on the planes and falling and dying trying to get to America? Huh? Why? Why? Why do you think that? Those were all the demons. Those are all the people, all the wrongdoers that were running to the airport, want to leave their country because they don't want law and order. You know, we should bring some of the rules over here to the United States. If you get caught, you murder somebody, senselessly, gun violence, innocent bystanders get killed, chop both their hands off. Let that be the sentence. Chop both their hands off so they can never shoot another gun. That's it. But now, like YouTube, my last walk I went to last week had a good podcast too. And YouTube deleted my video because of the information that I was sharing, and they don't want nobody to know. Because they're all Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube is owned all by the same group. And that group they are those people who are pushing the agenda. So now they're censoring us. They're censoring us. I never thought that would happen in America, but it's happening. They're censoring us. We don't have freedom of speech anymore, and freedom of expression. You can't just do and say what you want anymore in this country. So any content you post, you see it right here on TikTok, and then mute your video, or delete your video. What's happening on Instagram, and it's happening on Facebook, and it's happening on all the social media platforms. This is why I say that all our multimillionaires should get together and create a social media app for us, for black and brown people, to get on there and express themselves how they want to express themselves, with no guidelines, with no inherence, with no restriction, and let the truth be told. Because me personally, I want to know where all those trillions of dollars went, because I know I didn't get any of it. And I'm a single parent with 2 kids. I just thank God that God gave me the strength and the ability to survive. Ain't nobody give me nothing. Ain't nobody doing nothing for me. Every day I grind and I hustle to get my little bit of money I'm getting to survive and feed my kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to make him run now since he wants to keep stopping. He stopped, he ain't doing nothing. I'm sore, my legs are sore. Oh, this is a good walk. I gotta measure this with my car, see how far it is. Look how long that road is. I came from that way, all the way down there. Feels great though. Alhamdulillah. So he woke me up this morning. And I'm able to see, smell, hear. You hear the birds? I can walk. A lot of people woke up this morning. They can't see, they can't smell, because they didn't wake up. Their souls were taken out their bodies while they were sleeping. So we just gotta do better, man. We gotta do better ASAP, man. Because the worst is yet to come. He says that he would take the believers more through trials and tribulations in this lifetime than he will the disbelievers. You heard that? He will take the believers through more trials and tribulations in this lifetime then in the hereafter the disbelievers will be put through more trials and tribulations and calamities than the believers. And the believers will reside next to the shins of the Creator, and where the rivers flow of milk, and be full of gold and silk, and beautiful wives, and husbands, and children. So do not be of those. Refrain from being of those. And yes, be afraid. Be afraid to the day when you meet your Maker. When you are going to have to stand alone and be risen from the grave and be asked, what was your religion? Who was your Lord? Who was your messenger? And what have you done in your lifetime? Your good deeds and your bad deeds. And that's the scale that we're all going to be judged on. So today, make someone smile. Say hello. Hold a door for somebody. Offer some food. Give somebody a couple dollars. Help the homeless. Because guess what? God sends a homeless or a person we call bums to cross your path. Is disguised as a homeless person, but he's an angel. And he comes to you, disguised as a homeless person, and you deny him and shun him away and badmouth him, and talk bad, talk down to him. It is but a test of your faith and your patience. So to strive today to make somebody smile. Tell somebody you love them. Tell them God is good. And just be good, man. You know it's cool to be good? It's not cool to be ugly and oppress another human being. It ain't gangster. It ain't cool. It ain't cool to shoot at one another, blow your top off, flip your car, and all that. That shit is corny. They put it in songs to direct our young men to go do that in the streets. And that's why all over America, all you hear about is gun violence every day. Every single day. When I put the news on, it's sickening. Every single day, gun violence. And it's younger and younger and younger and younger people. So we got to do better. I send my prayers to all those who are suffering mentally and dealing with depression and having suicidal thoughts. I wanted to let you know that God loves you. You know, there's a bigger picture. Remain patient, remain faithful, and know that God loves you. I know it gets lonely, and you feel as though nobody loves you, nobody cares. But God loves you, and He cares. I know He loves me. I know He cares about me. Because if He didn't, He wouldn't continue to provide for me. And when He would not have let me live this long on this earth. Because I've been through it all. I've been through it all. Motorcycle accidents, car accidents, shot at, robbed, incarcerated, was in the military. You know, I won't go too deep into that, but and I'm still here. And I'm only here by His grace, His blessing. You know what I mean? I don't mean to come on social media preaching, but me as an OG, it's my duty to share this information. It's my job to share this information with you guys, man. Knowing that you could do anything you put your mind to. Anything, man. Anything. Anything you put your mind to, man, it can be done, man. I've done it. I was homeless. I've been homeless a few times. I had to sleep in my car. And then I had a car, so that was a blessing in itself, because not everybody has a car. So I was homeless, but I was still had shelter. I was sleeping in my car. Until I got on my feet and got another place. But we got to do better as a people. Let's love one another. Let's support one another. When we say support, I understand you like somebody post, you share it. But whatever that person is selling, support them, buy it. Let's start a trend. Let's start it now. Let's start a chain reaction. Everybody go buy a t-shirt. Anybody of my followers, if you see them popping up in your timeline, whatever they're selling, whatever their business is, support them. When you get it, take a picture of it and then tag that person in it. Or repost it. Share it. We got to do that. Once we do that as a people, black and brown people, and we support one another, then we'll become the wealthiest community in the world. We're already the most talented and the most gifted, the most athletic. The whole world has turned to hip-hop culture. I remember when hip-hop first came out, I was a kid, and they banned hip-hop. They tried to ban hip-hop in America. Took them to court and everything. They want to get the music out of, they didn't want the music on the radio. MTV would not play hip-hop music or hip-hop videos. None of the radio stations, everything was underground. There was no internet. So everything was underground and all the CDs were sold in record stores. As indie artists. But the message started to spread all over the world. So they didn't have a choice but to get down with the get down. Now the entire planet is hip-hop culture. You can go to France and those kids dress like us, trying to talk like us, walk like us, rap like us, sing like us, dance like us. Everything dealing with hip-hop. You can go anywhere in the world, even in Africa. Now Africans are doing drill music. They rapping. Yeah, and the hip-hop, the base and the foundation of hip-hop comes from Africa, from the drums and percussions. That's beautiful. Look how clear that water is. Oh, I'm so sore. Right? Russia. You got kids rapping in Russian. I got listeners on my radio station from all over the world. They tuned in. My radio station is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So go tune into it, hoodstar365tvradio.com. And if you're an artist, submit your music. Let me check you out. That's what you do. Let's get your song on the radio station. Let's get your video on the website. All right? So, I'm going to leave you with this so you don't stress out. Anytime you have a tough decision to make in life, or you're dealing with trials and tribulation, just say this to yourself. You ready? I'm going to tell you. From God, we all come. And to God, we shall all return. That's it. From God, we all come. And to God, we shall all return. And anything else in between that is but for mere play. It is but for mere play. And guess what? This lifetime is but short. It's a short span. It's not long. Life expectancy in this country now is 68. Now with this situation with all these viruses coming up, you could be here today and dead in 3 days. So we got to do better. Let's love one another. So I'm Ali, Hoodstar365, and this is Respect the Game, the podcast. Now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. And come support the merch at hoodstarworld.com and get a hoodie, get a hat, Get a t-shirt. Come in all colors. Go check out the website. hoodstarworld.com. hoodstarworld.com. And if you want to listen to some dope indie artists, go to the radio station and go on our SoundCloud page at Hoodstar 365 Mixtape Series. And you'll hear indie artists from all over the world on 23 mixtapes. I'm working on 24 now. All right? So I love y'all. Stay positive, man. Love one another. Deflect negative energy. And remember, you can do anything you put your mind to. And whoever telling you that you can't, you got to block them. I don't care if it's your mother, brother, sister, girlfriend, baby dad, kids. Never, never, ever let no one stop your dreams. Peace.